Opa! Hey Red Elf, are you the first today? Ta-da-da-da. Hyena Beast. Hello Redeemer, what's up? Shrine of Mastery. And some gold. Bloodwing. Bonpile. Two, 4, 6, to 4. Frostbite Shrine, very nice. The Small Sphinx. Droid's amulet. No suffix, only prefix. You were second, someone else beat you to it. Well, it doesn't matter. How are you doing, brother? All that matters is that everyone is okay. It is a cold one there. Oh. Here it has been summer day. Around 1300 hours, the temperature was about 34 Celsius under the sun. So, truly summer day today. ES4 Remastered is not on GOG. You don't know if you got a bit more. Yeah, but I mean, do you got to buy the remastered on GOG? Do you not like the DRM system of Steam? Die. Bonpie. That sounds lovely to you right now. Is it that cold, Red Death? You came from console, you are not stuck on Steam. Yeah, but what if Elder Scrolls Remastered doesn't come out on GOG? Will you get it on Steam? You played Diablo 2 R yesterday. Necromancer skeletons are resilient if you put more points to the mastery. Oh! Popo! Nice kill. You have only 3 skeletons, but very powerful ones. You know, that's a very nice and different tactic of playing with summons in Diablo 2.
It's dead. I should have told.
Ooh. Where is my coffee? Come on. Now that summer is back and I cannot sleep well at night, I'll have problems. Red Elf, I don't remember. Are there any items in Diablo 2 where those items provide more summons, more skeletons, for example? Not more points to the skills of summons or skeletons, but more skeletons. Because of course, in that game you can get items that provide +2 skills and +2 skill set. Is Diablo 2 remake on sale? I don't know. I have no idea.
Monsters have broken in here. Witless beast.
Wait, Pyramid of Khufu. Why am I here? I wanted to... Anyways, yes. Oh, this is where I wanted to go. Ten is the limit. Revives are unlimited. Hello, Andreas. What's up? Yeah, I think that it is not easy to get Diablo to resurrect it at $20. One, two. Hello, Sakata. You bought Oblivion Remastered immediately after release. Nice. Yeah, you know, Oblivion has always been a super great, awesome RPG. Now that it has much better graphics, and hopefully also better gameplay, it is definitely worth it for fans of Elder Scrolls games. I would like to get it myself as well, but on one hand I'm waiting for Titan Quest 2 to come out whenever it comes out. If it comes out anytime soon, who knows. And I mean, after Titan Quest 2 Early Access releases, I'll be playing that game only and a little bit of this one. And maybe some Stalker games as well. But it will be 95% of my gaming time, it will be Titan Quest 2. And on the other hand, I was thinking to save some money to buy Doom the Dark Ages. Although, again, I will not have enough free time to play that game very much, but to me, Doom the Dark Ages is one of the most important games out there. So... yeah. But Oblivion Remastered looks awesome. Mind-controlled enemy. That was a very exciting game. It was, yeah, back in 2006. The next game you buy immediately is Titan Quest 2. Yeah, let's see when that game is going to come out. It is taking too long. I love so many games. There are some franchises that I love very much. One of those is Elder Scrolls franchise. But Doom franchise specifically is one of my top 5 favorites. There are many critics as driver users. Do you have AMD? I have AMD, yeah. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is my favorite video game ever, but Assassin's Creed is not my favorite franchise. But that specific game, Odyssey, is my favorite game. But when it comes to favorite franchises, my top 5 would be Stalker, Darksiders, Doom, Medal of Honor, and Titan Quest. They will be bigger than Doom Eternal. I don't know if it will be bigger, but it doesn't matter. It looks like Doom the Dark Ages is going to be an awesome game. Redeemer, I didn't update any drivers for the remastered of Oblivion because I haven't bought Oblivion. And I didn't look out for any new drivers for that game. I don't know if AMD has released anything. Yes, I have played Eternal. Doom Eternal is an awesome game, but there is too much platform in that game. You jump, you climb up. These are good things, but not very good. I prefer the older style, which is less platform, less climbing, and more running and shooting down and just exploring. And I think that the Dark Ages is going to be even better than Eternal, at least to me personally, because it looks like in the Dark Ages there will not be platforming in the style of Doom Eternal. It will be less jumping, no climbing at all, and it is going to be maybe closer to the classic gameplay more than the Doom Eternal gameplay. You've been messing with Saturn Quest and your thoughts. The maps feel like a missed opportunity to have secrets like the old Exiled Kingdom maps. The old Exiled Kingdoms? I don't know, is that a strategy game? What game is that? Yeah, we don't have any news about Saturn Quest, we have nothing. You're talking about the Doom school and the Quake school, basically. Yeah, but I'm not talking about Doom, the first couple of, you know, the first Doom game, for example, where... Look, I'm talking about that one, or even up to the level of Doom 2016. In Doom 2016, you don't have too much climbing as in Doom Eternal, but you can get up on crates, for example, this type of platforming, which is very simplistic. That one is totally fine. But Doom Eternal took things at a higher level of platforming, which is okay, it is fun, but it is not my type of super fun, if you know what I mean. But still, my top favorite Doom game of all is Doom 3, which is a slower game, and you can jump in that game, but you don't have really platforming. And it is a horror-based game. You hope for a release the next month. You think it will be the best Greek mythology game? Let's hope so. Exiled Kingdoms is a neat game like Titan Quest but more old school graphics. Exiled Kingdoms. Yeah, but is that game a third-person action RPG or a top-down like Titan Quest? Except because I have seen many old games like Titan Quest top-down or isometric ones, but I cannot recall that title, Exiled Kingdoms. Doom 64. Yes, I have a Doom 64 version on my Steam library. I don't remember exactly which one is it. I think it is the one that was on Nintendo 64 and they also brought it on Steam, and I think it is that one. If I remember right. Which is again a very nice game. Eternal Ember story. That story has to... Look, in Eternal Ember's Act you go through China, Asia again, and through Egypt again. But that story has to do with Chinese mythology. I mean, the final big boss you can say is of Chinese or Asian mythology. So the main story is Asian mythology. Do you guys have any favorite franchises? I told you my top 5 favorite ones. Now, in my top 10, which means the next top 5 of mine would be Metro, Elder Scrolls, wait, I cannot recall everything. There are more, but I cannot recall right now. I have to drink my coffee. Cheers. Hello, Gabriel. Lord of the Rings? No. Lord of the Rings has never been a favorite of mine. We also have Torchlight, so Metro, Torchlight, Elder Scrolls. Let me recall some other franchises and I will tell you. Yeah. Getting older affects your memory. Grand Theft Auto is yours, Andreas. If advertising will be advertising, will be advertised for you. Oh, you like that game, eh? Diablo is one more on my top 10. I forgot Diablo. I mean, what is wrong with me? So, after the release of Oblivion, is there anywhere on the internet any information about the release date of Skyblivion mod? Titan Quest, Diablo 2R, Diablo 3, FF7. Final Fantasy 7, Red Elf. Oh. Hello, Toscani, what's up? This mind control is so annoying. Yeah. sometimes it becomes very annoying. You are divine using the epic rarity blessing of chaos set at the moment. Look, I don't know if you play the game in a... have you also installed, have you bought and installed Atlantis DLC?
Once I went, I take my
If yes, the ideal level for you to start playing in epic difficulty, it would be around level 48. If you have installed both Ragnarok and Atlantis DLCs and you play both of them in normal difficulty. World of Warcraft, they said that they will not shut down the project. The Sky Oblivion. I don't know, stuck with it. Why would they be frustrated? I mean, if they plan on releasing their mod for free, the only certain thing is that even those who have bought Oblivion Remastered, they can still play for free the Sky Oblivion, so it is not like they are losing customers. So I wouldn't see why they would be frustrated. Maybe there is something I'm missing. But I know that I would give it a try. If Sky Oblivion is free to play, even if it requires you to have bought the Oblivion game or the Skyrim, I have all these games in my collection.
Goodbye.
I have a Skyrim Special Edition and also Oblivion Game of the Year Edition and Morrowind Game of the Year Edition.
Leads his tribe against all.
So yeah, if that one comes out, maybe I'll try it to see how it goes, how it plays and how it looks, how it feels. Dead Cells, Rainworld, Hollow Knight, Terraria are among your favorites as well, but you've done so many games, it's hard to keep track of everything. Yeah. You can't play remaster on your PC.
Farewell.
Yeah, I can imagine. God of War Egypt will be fire. Yes. God of War Egypt would have... It would be... Maybe there is a chance that it will happen. Thor, Odin or Zeus is stronger in God of War series. I don't know. Look, first of all, I haven't played all God of War games. I have played only God of War 2018 and a little bit of Ragnarok. Actually, I need to play the whole Ragnarok game to see the story and everything, but anyways, if I find free time, I will play. So, look, God of War Kratos shouldn't be stronger than any other god out there. If we go based on mythology, then Kratos, now based on the story of that franchise, the game, God of War, Kratos was just a Spartan warrior, whatever, and then he got somehow, he fought and killed God of War Ares, if I remember right, and then he got God of the powers of Ares anyways, and he became God of War himself. But if you think about it, he shouldn't have been more powerful than other gods because he is still a mortal that has, maybe you could say he has stolen or he has borrowed the godly powers of a god. And also of a god that was not even more powerful than other gods himself. But anyways, you know, it is a video game. You have to, when you go to build a story of yourself, by yourself, a new story based on mythology, but not of course following mythology, you do whatever you want. So, based on this fact that developers do whatever they want, and story creators do whatever they want with their stories that we see in movies and TV shows and whatever, then the answer to your question is whatever. It is up to you to decide or to try to guess which god would be more powerful. Zeus, Odin, or who knows. If you don't want to miss anything before you jump to Epic, I would recommend to you, when you start playing a new character in this game, explore the whole map, kill everything that you see, and this way you will ensure that you will not miss anything, because in many cases when you explore you can find content from side quests, and this way you will also complete all side quests and you will get the rewards from side quests, which will be more experience for faster leveling up, more gold, more items. What is my opinion on Jesus? What exactly are you asking? Thor is like a strongman. Well, Kratos is also like a Spartan. But again, you know, these things you cannot really say what who is stronger and what not, because it is just a made-up story, and the story creators can do whatever they want. Your videos speak of history a lot. Is your passion in Greek mythology or history? Because it's quite need to know so much about it. History? What history? I don't speak of history. What do you think about current state? Hey, Artifacts, what's up? I played Last Epoch. Last Epoch is a good game. I haven't changed my opinion since the very beginning of that game. I think that Last Epoch is one of the better action RPGs right now. And by right now I mean not only of the RPGs that are popular, but also of the whole action RPG genre. And one of the main reasons why I'm saying this and why I like that game so much is because of the skill system. Now, I'm not saying that I'm enjoying very much the art style, which is the graphics of Last Epoch. It is not my favorite. For example, Sacred games, Sacred 1 and especially Sacred 2, have a much better art style of graphics than Last Epoch. But as an action RPG, I would choose Last Epoch over Sacred Games. Although I think that Sacred Games are super fucking awesome. A Path of Exile 2... The problem with Path of Exile 2 is that they are... They are messing up a little bit with that game, because that game is not a pure action RPG. They got a couple of ideas from Dark Souls games, and they make the game not really be a hybrid, because a truly hybrid game between Dark Souls and action RPGs would be Achilles Legends Untold, or maybe even No Rest for the Wicked is the name of that other action RPG, which is also Souls-like. So Path of Exile 2 is not really a hybrid, but it has a couple of features that they don't really fit in this genre. They make the game annoying sometimes. And this is why I see many people saying that they are getting bored after some time because of those specific features. But besides those annoying features, I think that that game is truly great. Now, I haven't followed the latest patch of that game, so I don't know what issues there are, because I have heard of people complaining about the issues of the latest patch of Path of Exile 2. But all those issues can be fixed in the future, and the game is still in early access, so it is not finished. All games in early access will have issues and gameplay problems, whatever. Ah, this is what you mean, Giovanni, okay. Gabriel, are you asking me if Jesus is a god or a Jew? Or a Jew thing? You mean a Jew thing? A thing that Jew people created? Look, back in the day, those people there in that area, you know, if you go by history, Rome conquered those places, and also they conquered Greece and the area around, and the emperors of Rome and whatever, and people wanted to, you know, they felt occupied by a strange force, which was Rome. And especially Jews had this tradition back then. They were talking about amongst them, their people, they wanted to be liberated by the Romans, and they were making up, because they had this thing with this religious mindset of having some savior coming to save them from bad guys and whatnot. Something like the Superman stories, fairy tales that we see nowadays, things like Spider-Man, you know, saviors that will save people. And so this, and they had this mindset of eschatology, as they call it also, which is this one. It includes also waiting for a savior to come to save you. And also eschatology means that at some point in the future all will be destroyed, and then a crisis will come from a divine entity, whatever, a god or whatever, and Judgment Day, Terminator. So those people who had that mindset that they had back in the day, they were not, it wasn't only one Jesus, which means it wasn't only one guy pretending to be the Messiah and making, performing miracles in front of people. If you go and check out history, read a little bit of history, you will see that Jews had some people there every now and then that they pretend to be the Messiah, and they had also some how do you call the magicians nowadays that perform tricks? And because our eyes cannot really see how that they make the tricks because they make them very fast and very smart. And the eyesight of humans is not perfect, of course. Anyways, they were performing tricks like this, and people didn't know better back then, and they thought that those tricks were miracles. And they had messiahs, they had that messiah at that period of time. Some decades later they had another messiah, then another messiah. When you create so many messiahs, maybe one day one of those messiahs will be successful and people will believe on that one. So actually Jesus, if you go by truth and reality and leave behind superstition and prejudice and all these things, you will have to admit that it is proven by history that it is just a made-up story by Jews of that time. And it is not even made by Jews of that time for the whole population of the planet. It was a story that was created specifically for saving Jews from Romans. And when they say in the Apocalypse about the Antichrist, Antichrist is not, it is actually it goes back the emperor, how did they call him, Neron, that one. He was the Antichrist. Wait. Forget the Antichrist, we have the anti-hero enemy here, the boss. Madicor. Jews are still waiting for the Messiah, they denied all the others. Yeah. Let's go. Let's do the boss fight. Popo, why did I do that? He missed. He is such an asshole, this boss. The first time he used that attack, he didn't hit me, he missed. And I used my stone form because I thought that he was going to hit me. But he missed. And the second time that I didn't have my stone form available, he actually hit me. He didn't miss.
Greetings.
Greetings, supporting greeting. So, if you got an answer, a simple answer to your question, is Jesus God or is he a Jew thing, as you said? It is obviously obvious that people in general, not only Jews, but in general, for thousands of years, in different civilizations, we have had people, real life people like you and I, living in this life, doing some stuff, maybe becoming leaders of an organization or a country. I wouldn't go to say now president of America, because especially politicians are not leaders. They are all scumbags, all of them. But anyways, let's say leaders of a nation, of a country, and in some cases, maybe because people felt that those leaders had been very, very beneficial to their people. I will give you an example. Alexander the Great. Especially in older times, people were making gods out of an individual. Also, Alexander the Great was considered to be the son of Zeus, which actually he was, but not the way you think. This is the funny thing is that when he visited, as he started going for his campaign, when he visited the Egyptians told him that he was, they greeted him as if he was the son of Zeus. So they knew something about that. You missed! So yeah. It doesn't matter that Jesus was a real person or he was not a real person. What matters is that people will make, or people have been creating gods out of people, of individuals for many thousands of years. So, is Jesus a god or not? I would say that Jesus is God for those who believe that Jesus is God. But for those who actually want to go with truth, science, and evidence based on archaeology and science in general and reality, it has been proven multiple times that Jesus Christ is as real as he is a god, but he is as real as Odin, Thor, Zeus, myself. That's proven reality. It is not about faith, it is about reality. Now, there are people that still believe in older religions. We still have people in India believing in their own gods. Well, that's okay, I'm not saying that. But, you know, we have options. The option is, do you want to believe in something that you have been told, something that you have been taught by some other people like your parents, your school, your teachers, the society you live in, or do you want to actually discover the actual truth and live this life that has been given to you by accident? By luck, based on reality, and to actually know the truth before of this life before you die. It is up to you to decide. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Azolian, I'm a super duper huge fan of Elder Scrolls games, and of course I watched the reveal of Oblivion yesterday. That one looks awesome. I would like to get it sometime in the future, but I know that I'm not going to play that game. Especially in 2025. Because I guess most of us here are waiting for the early access of Titan Quest 2 to come out at some point in 2025. And yeah, I won't have time to play that one. And also I'm trying to save money to buy Doom the Dark Ages maybe next month. Although I don't think that I will do that one as well, because an awesome thing happened 2 days ago. Super awesome thing. Plato in Politias says the perfect man would be crucified. Gabriel, come on. There is no such thing as prophecies on old documents of ancient Greeks or even ancient Jews about Jesus. Go, for example, do a research yourself. Go take a look what people say, Christians, about prophecies of Old Testament. Go see which prophecies they say that exist in Old Testament about Jesus. See exactly what they say there and go back to the Old Testament and take a look at those specific pieces of text that they take from the Old Testament and they present it as if it was talking about Jesus. Then do your research and read more of the Old Testament, and you will find out yourself that what they do is they take some pieces of text, they remove it out of context, and they say this one says about Jesus, it is a prophecy, and here we have it. You will find out yourself that they do not even respect the Old Testament. The Old Testament says things about people that some people, as I was talking before about messiahs and eschatologies and all of this mindset that Jews have had for thousands of years now. That is a very old thing. It is not. It didn't start happening around the time of Jesus. It was much older. And you can see that in the Old Testament you still had people there that were coming. There were prophecies for some leaders of Jews and whatnot that would conquer other people's areas in Egypt, and, you know, things like this that have nothing to do with Jesus. And those people, they take those texts of the Old Testament out of context and they make it look like it is talking about Jesus. But that one is talking, those pieces anyways, they are talking about other people that hypothetically based on the mythology of Jews, because Old Testament is also mythology. It is not history. It is exactly 100% identical to mythologies of other nations like Egypt, Greece, Norse mythology, whatever you want.
What would be your choosing? Please you.
You will find out by yourself the lies that they say. And they do the same, especially with Greece. They twist from ancient philosophers, Greek philosophers, some things. They try to present that ancient Greeks were talking and they were expecting a Jesus to come to save them. Ancient Greeks didn't have the mindset of saviors. They had the mindset of do something yourself to fix stuff instead of waiting for someone else to come for you to fix the stuff for you. This is why you see, for example, in the mythology, the biggest example, maybe one of the best examples, Hercules. What did Hercules, the son of Zeus, did? He committed a crime. He killed his wife and children because he was under a spell or something like that. He didn't go to do it, but after he did that thing, he had to redeem himself, to cleanse himself from the crimes, and he went under the commands of Eurystheus, maybe you would call it in English. And then Eurystheus sent him to do this, to perform the labors. And we have the 12 labors. So after the labors, Heracles was cleansed by his crime and everything was good. But actually, to fix the problems that he caused himself, he had to become a hero, he had to do great stuff, he had to work himself. He didn't expect from any god or divinity to come down and tell him, follow me and you will go to paradise. And your crimes are erased. Exactly what people do nowadays, politicians, they say, okay, let's not go there with the parliament because now I will start punching my screen. Okay, so no, ancient philosophers and ancient people, Greek philosophers, they didn't have the mindset of Messiah. And when you hear people saying stupid things like this, that ancient Greek philosophers believed that they were waiting for a Messiah, those people, they, yeah. You have to actually read some ancient history and things like this to understand what ancient Greeks were. Hello, acrobats. Hello, Roy Jr. I'm okay, Roy. How are you? Yeah, Gabriel, I didn't miss what you said. I just explained the mindsets of ancient Greeks and in general how Christians are twisting adultery given Old Testament to try to prove that Jesus was someone that even the ancient Jews were expecting to come. When that is proven to be 100% a lie, it is not true. So what Christians do actually is they disrespect ancient Jews and also the Old Testament, which has nothing to do with Jesus. They disrespect ancient Greek philosophers. And maybe even, yeah. Oh, let's stop there, we don't need anything else. I'm not talking about Christian people that just believe. I'm talking about those who are behind the leaders of Christianity. Those who actually know that all these things are big fucking lies, and they still support these things because this way, by using this religion, for example, they can control a huge amount of population on the planet. I mean, most people out there, simple people that just happen to be taught with specific religions or ideologies. Okay, that those people, all of us, myself included, of course, we have been unlucky. It is all, sometimes I say that people, even Christians, because they say that there is only one God and they believe in one God, they believe in the true God, the only true God, and these stupid things. What they truly believe in, again, I'm talking about people, not about those who actually know, but they are criminals, scammers. What people actually believe in, when they say I believe in one God, what you actually believe in is you believe in a goddess, not a god, and the goddess is called luck. You believe in the goddess luck or the goddess fortune. But in this case, I would call it goddess misfortune, not really fortune. Or I would call it the goddess bad luck, not really luck. Because you have to be very unlucky or to have very bad luck to end up coming in this world without having chosen yourself, because it is impossible to be born in this world anyways. You have to be very unlucky not to be born in this world, but to be born in this world in a place and in a time where the world is fucked up, and the world has been fucked up for thousands of years now. And anyways, there is a different version of fucked up. For example, you are very unlucky because you have been born either in a place and in a time where people believe in that religion. Let's say Christianity. Or people believe in another religion. Let's say whatever your religion. I'm not talking about Christianity only, all religions. Or some people are unlucky that they were born under maybe in a society and with parents that are atheists, or they believe in alien gods or alien whatever, and I don't know. I'm talking about alien as gods, not alien life, because alien life is 1000% sure that it exists. For example, I think Mormons is one such religion that believes that aliens created us, but aliens are the true gods of humans, but we are not worthy and we have to go through struggles to cleanse ourselves and become worthy of the aliens. Something I think I haven't really looked into that religion of Mormons, but from things I have heard here and there, I think something like that is what they say. Maybe I'm mistaken, I don't know. But anyways, The point is that some people have been unlucky and they have been born under Christian circumstances in a Christian country. Others have been born under a Muslim country, Muslim circumstances. Others somewhere else. This is why, in the end of the day, when people, no matter where on the planet and no matter what they believe in, when they believe what they have been taught, what they actually believe in is the goddess misfortune. If you believe in Jesus, for example, that he is the only true God, you actually believe in the goddess misfortune or the goddess bad luck. Because you had the bad luck to be born under those circumstances. Had you been born under the other circumstances, then you would have the bad luck to be born under, for example, the Muslim circumstances, or the ancient Egyptian, or the ancient Greece, or the ancient, I don't know, whatever you're going to say, Native American religions, or Chinese, or Japanese, whatever you want. Jesus is something like Big Brother from Orwell's book. I haven't read Orwell's book. What is the Big Brother from Orwell's book supposed to be? Gabriel, before Christ and after Christ, these things have, if I remember right, those are because of the Roman Empire that established Christianity as the only legal official religion, and they started killing, for example, in my city Thessaloniki, they killed 10,000 Greeks that didn't go to become Christians, and they slaughtered them. As far as I recall, that happened under the rule of Theodosius, Roman Emperor. If I remember right.
Please you. Safe travels.
It was not a... You killed a curse.
Isnu? I've had my doubts.
Good evening, GTA Video. What's up? You believe Tupac is the god of rap music? Okay. At least Tupac has been a real person, right? And his music has been real, right?
You're the one from Greece, huh?
I'm the one from Greece, yeah. Someone that no one ever see him, but everyone respect. Gabriel, who are you talking about? Hello, Kowalski. Cutting nature is skeletal attached weapon base slot. I wouldn't call it base slot, but it is a very, very good item if you get it to drop with good affixes. And it is a very good item. Now, best in slot, if we are talking about thrown weapons, you can probably fight some legendaries that could potentially be even better than the darts. So, you know, It is not really easy to say that it is best slot. Hello, Cocktail Chef. In case... wait. Because the game crashed once, you think that you are entitled to cheat one item from the orcs? I don't see... Okay. This is a specific mindset which I don't really necessarily agree with. But this is a single player solo game mostly. And if you got to do that, it is okay. If you feel like you have been cheated by the game because the game crashed and you lost so much of your time, because if the game crashed and you lost the 300,000 electron points because of the crash of the game, and you spent so much time farming those points, then okay, go ahead and cheat one orb. I will not tell you anything. That cheating in that case is a bad thing, because the game already cheated you as well, so... You know, single player game. Hello, Psyche. What I believe in? I believe in nothing, and also I do not believe in nothing. Look, there are... In reality, what exists, at least for the human perception, there is a very big mistake that people make. Many people make this mistake. They say, if you believe in God, you believe in God. If you don't believe in God, you are an atheist. I would say that this is not correct. Because if you don't believe in God, makes you an atheist, then you cannot be an atheist if you do not accept the God existence based on belief. If that makes any sense to you. Why? Because first of all, when I'm talking about God's existence right now, I'm talking about the known religions like Jesus, Christianity, Muslim religion, or whatever religion you want. If we are talking about those ones, because those religions are based on belief, and you say that you don't believe in God, makes you an atheist, then if you do not... Look, to make it easier to understand, because it is not easy for me to explain as well, because English is not my native language, and some things it's not easy for me to say. In my case, I do not believe in God. Again, I'm talking about the known religions. But also, I do not disbelieve in God. What I do is, because we have two different ways of thinking, let's call them. One is the way of belief. The other is the way of knowledge. If you are talking about believing or not believing in God, you are in the way of thinking, the mindset of belief. You are not in the mindset of knowledge. The mindset of knowledge proves that for the known religions, again, because this is what we are talking about, it is proven that those gods do not exist. All. Muslim gods, Christian gods, all gods. They exist in the form of archetypes or symbols created by men, because men have this, which needs, it is a different topic. It has to do with I have 0 energy potions. It has to do with how different the human brain is to the brain of the rest of the animals on the planet. And how this difference affects our perception of reality and how we create stuff when stuff doesn't exist because of the possibilities of our brain anyway. So, when I'm saying that I do not believe, but I do not disbelieve in your God, in God, as you call it, I do it based on knowledge. So, I'm not an atheist because I do not disbelieve in your God based on the system, the mindset of belief. I'm basing my decision of not accepting that your God or God based on religions exists, or I'm also not accepting that God or gods based on religions do not exist. I'm not accepting that they do not exist based on belief. Because if you believe they do not exist, then you are just having the mindset of belief, which is the wrong way to do things. I'm going with the knowledge that those beliefs are false, 100%. So, based on the knowledge, I cannot really be an atheist. Also, I cannot be a theist, whatever, however you call it.
Greetings.
But now you will tell me, okay, is there anything you believe in? Well, in this case, we have to define what do you mean exactly by believe, because I believe in myself, I believe in you, I believe that you can try to do better in your life, improve yourself, do better for your society. I believe in this type of things that are based on reality, things that are proven to be possible to happen. It is possible that, for example, let me give you another example now about believing. 50 energy points. Hello, Snipchap. Hello, Rocco Schultz. What's up, guys? So, about believing, a real life example. Back in when I was about 18 years old, I started going to the gym because I liked bodybuilding, you know, since the age of 15 years old, whatever. And I started going to the gym back in the age of 15, 16 years old. A couple of years later, a little bit, I went to the army because it is mandatory to go to the army in Greece. I was going to the gym for some years, I was doing bodybuilding, I was trying to grow my muscles, I had, you know, dreams of becoming a bodybuilder and whatnot. I went one day to the owner of the gym. By the way, the owner of the gym was one of the most important bodybuilding personalities in European bodybuilding. He was not just a gym owner, he was a very big name. He had a huge experience and he was a competing bodybuilder himself decades ago. So one day I went to him and I told him, I was asking because you know I had those dreams about becoming an athlete, a bodybuilder, and we started discussing about this thing. And I asked him about myself, if I could become a bodybuilder, if I could go and become Mr. Olympian, and these things. And thankfully he was honest with me. He told me, you don't have it. You don't have what you need to reach that level of, you know, competing as a bodybuilder. We're not talking about Mr. Olympia, but anyways, becoming a bodybuilder in competitions, going to competitions. You don't have the body type anyways, you cannot really do it. He didn't believe that I could do it. And based on things that he knew, okay. Because he knew what he was talking about. He was not just a random person that had a gym. So, okay, he told me the truth. That truth was not very good to me because I had dreams as a very young person. Okay. I got a little bit disappointed, but not very much. This wasn't enough to stop me from dreaming and keep going on with the gym and trying to grow my muscles and all of these things. So I kept doing that. Then the time came for me to go to the army. I got to the army for 1.5 years, and then I came back. I was done, and then I went back to the gym. And I started working out very hard. I was doing very serious diet for bodybuilders, and all the necessary things that I had to grow as a bodybuilder, but always natural, never steroids. And this is actually the reason why I stopped bodybuilding at some point, because I didn't go to take steroids. But anyways, the point is that after the army, for a couple of years at least of working out very hard and doing these things with diet, things like this, I had a very, very good development as a natural bodybuilder. And I thought that one day I should go, I should go and ask him again about competitions, you know. So one day we were talking about these things. And at some point I asked him again, do you think that I could go and compete? Become an athlete, not just do bodybuilding for myself, but also go on the stage and compete. And he actually told me that he didn't believe that I could do it some time ago, which was some years ago. But after he saw my improvement and development, he told me that at this point I cannot tell you don't go because I saw how much you have improved, and maybe you can go. But if you got to go, he said to me, don't expect me to come with you there as your trainer, because he didn't want to deal with these things anymore. He was old with competitions and these things. He didn't want to be a part of it anymore. But the point is that now, in the beginning, some years ago, based on actual evidence and actual knowledge that he had, he didn't believe that I could do it. But after some years of me working out hard and doing diet and these things, and after he saw my development, again, based on actual evidence, not based on theories and, you know, just beliefs out of the blue, he believed that maybe I could do it. And he changed his mind and he said, if you go to do it at this point, I cannot tell you don't go and do it because I saw your development. So, there is this type of believing, which is actually, it can be based on real stuff. This is a good type of belief. The bad type of belief is that we believe in things that have no actual realistic evidence behind them, and usually those things are philosophical things that also at some point they become religions, or maybe ideologies that haven't been tested to see that they truly work, and some people become fanatics of those ideologies, and then you have other problems happening based on those ideologies, and those problems mostly are political and societal problems. So if we talk now about, because most people would care about believing or not believing or knowing about gods and life after death and these things. So, do I believe that life after death exists? No. Do I disbelieve that life after death exists? No. Why? Because again, I'm going with the mindset of not of belief, but of knowledge. So you have to ask me, do I know that life after death exists? I will tell you that there is two possible answers that you can get here. One answer is yes, I do know if life after death exists. The other answer is no, I do not know if life after death exists. Some people, you tell them this difference, they do not understand it. And they stick to, okay, you still say, you play with words and you don't believe it, I take it that you don't believe it, they cannot understand the difference. I mean, that's okay, because not all people can understand the same things. It is we don't have the same capabilities. There is a options menu, keep binding, quick pickup. You assign a hotkey. I have assigned C. The default one is A. You click A and you pick up golded postures and charms. You believe 1% of something is better than 100% of nothing. But what is 100% of nothing? And how can you have 100% of nothing? My gear is this one. Like people say, use the body scarves on every build because it's best to slow. This is ideology or belief, not evidence. Yeah, Psyche, it is not evidence. It is not evidence that it is best in slot on every build. It is evidence that it is best in slot for some builds. For some builds, yes. But not on every build. On every build, this is false. It is not best in slot. Yeah, Kowalski. It is... Faith excludes knowledge, exactly. So, for those people who go by knowledge, not by faith, if they don't believe that God exists, they are not atheists. So, do you got me now to answer to you? Do you got to know, actually, do you got to know if such a thing as a God actually exists based on knowledge or not? Not on faith, based on knowledge or not? Forget about faith. I'm not going to tell you anything about based on faith. I find it extremely disrespectful to others to tell them things based on faith, at least when it comes to religious things. I'm not going to disrespect you guys based on faith. I can tell you based on knowledge some stuff, or if I don't know, I can tell you that I don't know. Simple as that. $1.2k life on boots. Yeah, this is a mastery frequent from Atlantis. The item itself has a mastery frequent. Always provide 800 health points. Always. It is standard in legendary tier. But this one has the suffix of immortality, which provides the rest about 400 whatever health. So we have 1200 health. What if we are God? Psyche, I can answer to this question, but the problem is that people who go with faith can be corrected, people who go with science can be wrong, knowledge is changing all the time. People who go with faith, are you talking about faith when it comes to religious things, or, you know, the other type of faith which I talked about? Because I can have faith on you, in you, I believe that you can make it. What are you talking about exactly? Because if you say that the problem is that people who go with faith can be corrected, you are referring to religious type of stuff with faith, then you are wrong. Those people can never go correct. They can never be correct. Why? Because I say so? No. Based on evidence. Why can those people never be correct when it comes to religious faith? Because, based on evidence again, it is proven that all those religions and all those ideas that come with those religions are man-made. And man-made stuff is man-made stuff. It is not stuff that comes before men, it is stuff that was created by men. And men, I'm talking about humans. Okay, some people would say now, we exclude women. No. When we say men, we are talking about humankind anyways. And that is proven evidence. It is not my personal opinion that religion's faith is created by humans. That is proven, a proven fact. But then again, there is the other problem now, where we have some idiots nowadays that have started creating some cults, as you would call them. And those cults now they have started creating, they have started believing artificial intelligence to be a true god. And in the very near future, we will have actually those cults coming out much more frequently and trying to, you know, to get more members of their cults and to try to become big religions so that people will believe that AI is the new god now. That is much worse than believing in a god of, you know, the classic religions.
This is life.
Yeah, science changes because science goes with truth, and science keeps searching for the truth. And science makes mistakes, and the reason why science changes and proves itself wrong many times is because actually science is searching for the truth instead of creating a fake truth just to be, you know, to be comfortable. Da, 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 da. Oh, God doesn't create religion, make I create religion for the God. Yes, of course, but God, the idea of God was created by humans. This is why you have many different types of God. Let me remind you, for example, that gods of ancient national religions, like ancient Greek gods, they were born by other gods. Those gods were born by chaos. Chaos is not a god. Chaos was an eternal existence of the universe before the universe started making sense the way it makes sense. But on the other hand, you have some other religions that, like the biblical ones, based on Old Testament, that they say that God actually is something beyond the universe, that God created the universe, God exists forever, things like this, stories made up by men. So, which God are you talking about? Which type of God are you talking about? God of...
Everything I feel, I doubted that.
Although, some people would argue that also that chaos state of the universe before the universe came to be, however we can understand it, even at that state, chaos was forever. The universe was forever at that state, and that state somehow created the universe as we perceive it. And they could call that thing God. Okay.
I don't have time for idle chit-chat.
In that case, God existed since forever, which means that universe existed since forever. Universe was never created in the first place, which means that this idea excludes the possibility of a God existing behind and before the universe, this universe as we know it. Because the universe as we know it, in a different state, in a before-now state, was the eternal state of a God that turned itself to what we perceive right now. Go figure.
Come again.
AI is real. AI is real, but AI is man-made. Humankind created AI. You can never have this thing as a god.
Greetings.
But if we go behind the secrets of hidden by ancient philosophers about the gods and about Olympus, and if we reveal what actually the gods are,
Well, look, a mighty warrior from foreign lands. I'm sure you will find.
and why the gods had been born by that state of chaos of the universe when the universe was in that state of chaos, then we will understand that actually the gods, Zeus and all the other gods, and also Egyptian gods, Norse gods, because all these gods are actually forces that we call them with different names based on the different countries and different languages, but they are very similar in many cases.
I am that evil.
So, if we go behind and we reveal the secrets behind all those philosophies, we will understand, we will see that actually those gods exist. But not the way that mythologies say. For example, mythologies, they speak with symbols. They don't speak with literal acts of God actions and whatever.
This cannot be.
And also, if we take the same mindset and we put it behind Jesus, we will see that also Jesus is real. Jesus is as real as Zeus, and vice versa. But if we start taking all those things literally, none of those gods is real. So, Psyche, what you said before, we are the gods, this is actually true. We are the gods, but now we have to come to the definition. What is the definition of a god? Because if we go to start talking based on knowledge, whether God exists or not, we have to go with definition. If you don't start with a definition of something, you cannot really talk with others about that something, and you cannot come to a common conclusion that makes sense. Because if your definition is X, and my definition is Y, and the definition of somebody else's is Z, then we will never come to a common conclusion, because we will talk about the same thing, but we will understand totally different things. It will be like we are trying to have a conversation on Titan Quest, for example, but I'm speaking on my language, you speak on another language, somebody else is speaking on another language, and we don't understand. We speak only our native languages. And we try to make sense of that discussion. It doesn't make sense, because I will say something in Greek, you will say something in German, which I don't speak, you don't speak Greek. Go figure. What is the conclusion of that discussion? There is no discussion in the first place. It makes no sense. So, we have to decide on a specific definition. What do we mean when we say God, for example? What do we mean when we say afterlife, for example? What do we mean when we say death? Does death exist? I would argue that death does not exist. It is not real. Tell me that I'm wrong. Thanks for the follow, Nazgatin. Oh. Your wisp? Ah, yeah, my wisp is dead. You are correct, Rocco. For you, God is creationist and omnipotent. Okay, this is your definition. But that definition relies on the man-made stories of a creationist and omnipotent God. Maybe somebody else would have a different definition of a god, of what God is, or what gods are. So every time you go to speak with somebody about a topic, not only God, but whatever, it is, I would recommend first to define what you are talking about, have a common place about the definition of something, and then have the discussion. It will make more sense this way. General means the agent who knows everything and can do everything, omniscience and omnipotence. No, I would argue that what you are saying is true, but it is true only for religions based on biblical religions anyways. Like Christianity and this type of religion. Because that is not true for hundreds upon hundreds and thousands of gods of other religions. So if you give me this specific definition for a god, then you are talking about those specific religions, you are not talking about something else. And if we go to discuss based on that definition, we have to discuss about those specific religions. The problem exists talking about because people argue about what's the best build. Psyche, look, I understand where this issue is coming from, at least in some cases for some people, because many people have played other games like Diablo 3, and in Diablo 3, for example, there are many builds that are considered to be the best builds for each class. At least of many builds that many people and many streamers, big streamers have tried out, they discovered that those ones have been the best anyways. And because people have that, they have this experience with Diablo 3, for example, or maybe other action RPGs that have similar mindsets and designs behind them. Maybe they think that also in Titan Quest there will be a best build for everything, and maybe they are looking for that build. So it makes sense that some people would have this this question, and since they are new to this game, they wouldn't know better. So it is not like we should blame them for being mistaken or anything like that. It is okay. Thankfully, Titan Quest doesn't work the same as other games, so... One goal to language would be help against the chaos. What chaos? People insisting an item is better or class is better than the other when the definition of better isn't clarified. Yeah. As for example, items that are best in slot. There are items that are best in slot, but usually the best in slot items are best in slot for specific builds, not for everything. Of misunderstanding. Your English is very good, Rocco. Why? What's the problem? Well, when it comes to one language, hypothetically, English is supposed to be a global language. And in many countries, people learn English as a second language so they can use it in general. Ta-da-da. Ta-da-da. Having only one language on the planet would be very efficient when it comes to communicating, of course, everywhere on the planet. Because if all people spoke the same language, there was no other language, then this would mean that everything would have been much easier when it comes to communication. But we would have a very maybe there would be a very big problem with that one. Like saying Kaker is the best physical damage class because his stroke was the favorite, but there are many physical classes so we can say it's the best. No, we cannot say it's the best. See, as I have been saying for years now, some of the best classes we know, for example, Conqueror is one of the best classes for physical damage, yes. The best, is it the best? Not necessarily. And why is that? Because, as I have been saying for years, nobody has really tested out all possible physical damage based builds in this game. I'm talking about builds, which means that even a single class, for example Conqueror, can give you many different builds. So even within that class you don't know which build is the best. So nobody has really tested out all possible builds in the game based on physical damage so that they can actually come out and say, based on evidence, not based on faith, that this one is the best for that type of damage, or this one is the best build for that type of weapon, or that type of gameplay, or that is the best pet build, or whatever. If you know anyone that have tried everything, all possible builds of a specific type, let me know, because I also would like to know which one is the best melee physical damage build, which one is the best bow build based on the type of damage, because again this game is so awesome that for each type of build, for example melee build, you can have so many different types of builds. Even melee builds based on a spear and a shield, you can have so many different types of builds using a spear and a shield. This is a build based on a spear and a shield, but this build is an elementalist with a spear and a shield, and it makes no sense, some people would say, or many people would say, an elementalist to play with a spear and a shield when it doesn't use defense mastery, but it still hits with the shield attack without defense mastery. It doesn't use rune mastery, but it uses a skill that also exists in rune mastery with the spear. It doesn't use hunting mastery, but it uses a spear, and the spear benefits the most by hunting mastery, which this build doesn't use. And this build still uses an elementalist class, which is based on 80% based on elemental damage. But the build itself doesn't use attribute points on intelligence, which intelligence boosts elemental damage. Instead, this build buffs up dexterity, which is totally irrelevant to the... And yet you have a great build here. Super duper hybrid complicated build. Still a great build. Doing great. So yeah, you can. This is just an example of how many different builds you can have in this game based on a single type of idea of a play style. Shielded spear. So go figure which one is the best. Have a good one, Kowalski. Rocco, I'm not a god gamer, I'm just a god. Da-da-da-da. Reptilian. So today I was thinking I had this brilliant idea to try to fight somewhere 25,000 euros. Because the idea is if I fight 25 euros somewhere, I will go and buy an office. I'm talking about a space office. A professional space to make it actually a professional space for making content for many years to come. I'm talking for many years to come. And by many years I'm talking about since I would like to keep making content until the day I die, which means even if I reach let's say 70 years old, 75 years old, I would still like to keep making content. I wouldn't stop. I think that would have been a very great investment to have such a space. So I'm thinking to go and rob a bank or something. And I have another great idea. The moment when I decide which bank to rob, I will prepare myself, I will buy guns, whatever, you know, everything. The great idea is that Revenant plate! Έλα ρε! Revenant plate of fortitude. Anyways, still this item is great. So, I will take all of the necessary tools I need to go and rob a bank. And this is what I will do. To make this action of robbing the bank, getting the money that I need to buy as a professional space, even more successful, and to make sure that the police will never find me, they will never catch me, they will never find out who stole the bank. I will also live stream myself robbing the bank. And this way I will also get thousands upon thousands of views. I will go mainstream, and this way they will never catch me because I will live stream robbing the bank. And everything will be fine. Everything will go as planned. Very great idea. I will live stream robbing a bank. Now, how about that? Da-da-da-da. Sell pictures on OnlyFans. Had I been a young, beautiful girl, maybe I would have done that, but...
That which they call it first. My weapons and armor are simply the best.
Great
Look
item.
for yourself. You will
This
find
definitely... It is worthy of keeping in my collection. Oh! I don't have gold! I don't have gold! Oh man. Blessing of the God.
farewell.
Eh? Ah, that guy is not here. So, how do I get gold now? Do I sell some components from my...
Need to stow something?
Yes, I can sell some components. Nope. Pierce resist. Okay. If I sell these components, what will I get?
My armor is doubly reinforced.
Some
to be
millions of gold.
lifetime guaranteed.
$4 million gold. That's 34. Yeah, spend it all on energy potions. This build is very hungry or very thirsty for energy potions.
Thank you.
Thank you for what? For being thirsty for energy potions. The Highland Pass. To pass or not to pass? Okay. Those zombies wanted to become my followers. You killed the Nepkemi? I killed the Nepkemi. Maybe it's time to pick up yellow items. You are correct, absolutely. 1000%. All 3 enemies became my friends. Nice. That was a skill for my artifact. It totally destroyed the enemy. Whoa! A camel, a dead person. Oh, he's dead. Dead again. I got to climb down there. Let me move. 0% trap resist. Scatter. Valley of the Kings. Bonpile of the Kings. Come on, kill the NPC enemy. The enemy died the moment he came in front of... Maybe this NPC is a god. Maybe he just looked at the enemy died. I don't know.
Pleased to meet.
I picked up a Revenant plate, I don't believe it. Oh. Have I found every legendary? There can only be one answer to your question, and the answer is no. I haven't found every legendary. Egyptian outfit, 85. Okay. Well, yeah. From here on, I will have to pick up many yellow items, sell them, make gold and buy potions. Yeah, Redel, thanks. It is not the best one that I could get because it has this suffix which provides sleep resistance, skill disruption protection. Although the skill disruption protection is very good, actually. Hello, Atmosphere RPG. Yes, I tried last epoch and the game is good. That game is very good.
So long.
Okay, I have started every quest here. But I will stop here, guys, for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow to continue the stream. Maybe I'll continue this character tomorrow. Maybe I'll live stream something else. I don't know. I will have to go buy an air fan because the air fan I was using last summer broke and I had to throw it out of the window. And I don't have an air fan now. Summer is coming. Bye bye, Canada! Thanks for stopping by the stream, guys. Have a great one. Play Titan Quest. Let's hope that the early access of the second game will come out as soon as possible. And I will probably see you tomorrow with more Titan Quest or maybe something else, I don't know. Probably more Titan Quest. So,